As we reported during an all-staff call earlier today, President Biden says he's still running to be the Democratic nominee and that, quote, no one is pushing me out. However, the numbers that we are seeing is telling a different story. It appears he may not be getting pushed, but perhaps shoved out. Because look at this polling. Former President Trump now has a very large lead, the largest since 2015 in this New York Times poll. He stands a whopping 8 points ahead of Biden with registered voters. Even as he meets with Democratic governors right now, as we speak, calls for him to step aside have multiplied.
I believe that there are stronger options out there for Democrats. We have a stable of folks that I think could do a better job, including Vice President Harris.
I think we would be better off if we had a new candidate who could present a new vision for our country. And we can do that if we have an open and fair democratic process over the next few weeks.
Arguably, those are some fighting words. Joining us now, Kurt Bardella, News Nation contributor and Democratic strategist, and Mark Lauder, former special assistant to President Donald Trump. Kurt, I have to start with you. I want, for some of our viewers who weren't able to watch the briefing today, I want to play a quick soundbite from the White House press secretary and get your take. Here it is.
He is staying in the race. I don't have anything else beyond that. He's staying in the race. That is what the president is promised to do. That is what he wants to continue to work on the successes that he's had.
Shortly after this, there was a fundraising email to his supporters. Kurt, talk strategy to me, all right? This is your wheelhouse. Where do we go from here?
Well, if you're Biden and the White House and his campaign team, listen, you spend every day running like you're going to finish because you have no reason not to. You have to pretend at the very least right now, while things are in flux, there's a little bit of chaos, you still got to keep your eye on the ball. Right now, he is the candidate. Right now, he is the Democratic nominee. Right now, he is the sitting U.S. president. And so you must act that way. Up until the point where he doesn't. Then it becomes real. Then the next chapter of this comes into play. But until then, listen, the White House press secretary, she's doing her job. Every White House press secretary goes out there and defends their president. That's what she did today. The campaign is doing what they're supposed to do. Raise money, keep the eye on the ball. They still have to run an election in November, no matter who it's against, no matter who the nominee is, no matter who's on the ticket. You're still going to need the resources to run that race. They need to keep doing their job. All the while at the White House, they're doing damage control. They're trying to fix this, doing the meeting with the governors. They're going to get him out there a little bit. This interview coming up with George Stephanopoulos is the highest stakes interview we have had probably in the last decade at the very least, that could make or break this campaign. Because if it does not go well, come Monday and Tuesday, the dam will break completely and it'll effectively be over.
Yeah. Taped, though, live, 15-minute time limit. I mean, there are some parameters there. All right, Mark, I want to weave you into the conversation. You have worked for former President Donald Trump, and I'm sort of curious, would you define him as being relatively subdued over these past few days?
Well, I mean, rule number one in politics, when your opponent is self-destructing, get out of their way. And he's letting Biden self-destruct. I mean, what else are you going to do? So just let him do it. No, look, but let's not forget, this is not about a debate. Joe Biden was losing this election before the debate. He was losing in the national polls. He was losing in all of the swing states, not just a couple of them, all of them, losing on the policy. That debate was a Hail Mary, and he fumbled the snap. He threw a pick six. You can pick the football metaphor. And it's not getting any better. A 15-minute edited, taped interview, not going to change anything because we know that we're going to see Joe Biden stumble again in a couple of weeks or a couple of days, and this whole narrative will come back on us again.
Okay, Kurt, I would imagine that your argument would be it's still early. However, we are seeing more support around the vice president. There's a new social media position for her. She's changing her travel schedule, maybe some more appearances this week. It's an American holiday, putting her with the president. Should we be focused on the fact there's more attention on the vice president? And what should we be reading into that?
Well, I think that it's natural that in this moment of flux, in this moment of chaos and internal turmoil with the Democratic Party, that the president and the vice president would at least appear publicly to be joined at the hip. It makes sense. Either Kamala Harris is going to be the running mate or she's going to be at the top of the ticket most likely. So on either one of those scenarios, elevating her, giving her that type of image, positioning, visibility was something that they were going to have to do no matter what for her to be effective, again, either leading the ticket or on the ticket in November. I think the one thing that if you're Democrats, that there is the sliver of good news, if there's such a thing in this situation, is that we've seen President Trump have this ceiling in the polling. Biden's dropping, sure, but it's not like Trump's approval is going up. There's a cap to how far that goodwill goes, and it's right about 48, 49% consistently. That tells Democrats there is room to play with on the playing field if you have the right ticket in place.
You know, Mark, I heard Kurt say, if she is or possibly on the top of the ticket. I don't know, and I'd like to hear your opinion. Don't underestimate her, right? Don't underestimate any newcomer when it's a one-to-one matchup, especially now because it really is only July. We do have the rest of summer to go.
Well, I mean, obviously, you're not going to disrespect any opponent. That's how you end up losing. And I know that the Trump campaign, they will not take that lightly if it comes to pass. But look, Kamala's more unpopular than Joe Biden, if that's even possible. It's real. She's also not proven to be a good candidate on the national stage. She's not been proven to be a good vice president. And the memes and the jokes and the horrible word salads, they speak for themselves. And what's worse for Kamala Harris is she's still going to have to run on Joe Biden's results and Joe Biden's policies. It's not like she's going to suddenly want to drill, baby drill, seal the border, or support Israel because the Democrats don't.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I'm going to have to leave it there, but I'm grateful that you both joined us. And I do want to remind our viewers, I'm going to take a quick live look at the White House. There is a group of governors right now meeting with President Biden, both in the flesh and also virtually. I want to remind our viewers that when any governor, if any, they walk out during this program, we will bring any comments if they are available live to you. Gentlemen, again, thank you so much.